If karma truly exists, then why do kind, compassionate people still face some of life's deepest suffering? Why do those who live with honesty and generosity sometimes end up with heartbreaking illness, devastating loss, or unbearable loneliness? It's a question that troubles the human heart. We've all seen it. People who embody goodness, who sacrifice for others, who walk with integrity, yet they're struck with cancer, lose their jobs, or watch their families fall apart. And then on the other side, we see selfish, manipulative, even cruel individuals climbing into positions of wealth and power, seemingly untouched by pain. The contrast feels unbearable. It shakes the very foundation of what we thought we believed. In moments like this, we begin to wonder, is karma just a comforting story, or worse, has it somehow failed? Think about your own life. Have you ever known someone who didn't deserve the pain they went through? Maybe it was a loyal friend, always giving, always helping, yet betrayed by the very people they trusted. Or perhaps a loved one who lived healthy and pure, only to be taken far too soon by illness. Moments like these cut deep because they don't fit the tidy narrative we were told. Do good, and only good will follow. Do evil, and suffering will come. Life doesn't seem to honor that equation. This is the paradox of karma. Deep inside, we want life to be fair. We want a moral scoreboard that balances instantly, where kindness is rewarded and cruelty is punished without delay. But reality rarely works that way. Pause for a moment. Can you recall a time when you did something kind, maybe even at great cost to yourself, and no one noticed? No thanks, no recognition. Maybe instead someone took advantage of you. How did that feel? Did you quietly ask yourself, does being good even matter? This is where the tension lies. The Buddha saw it clearly long ago. He knew people would return to this question again and again. Why do good people suffer? And instead of giving a quick, shallow answer, he invited us to look deeper. Our pain, our hardships do not prove that karma isn't real. They reveal something else, that our understanding of karma may be incomplete. So what does karma really mean? First, let's clear up a common misunderstanding. Karma is not an instant reward or punishment. It isn't like dropping a coin of kindness into a cosmic vending machine and instantly receiving a candy bar of happiness. In its original roots, Pali and Sanskrit, the word karma simply means action. More specifically, intentional action of body, speech, and mind. And every action plants a seed. That's how the Buddha described it. Every choice you make, every word you speak, every thought you dwell on, they're all seeds dropped into the soil of life. Some seeds sprout right away, like when you smile at a stranger and they smile back. But other seeds lie hidden for years, waiting for the right season, the right conditions. Some may not even ripen until another lifetime altogether. And that's why the law of karma can feel so mysterious, because it doesn't unfold on our timetable. It's not instant cosmic justice. It's a patient process, like farming. Seeds don't bear fruit the next morning. They need time, water, sunlight, and the right soil. The same is true with karma. Some seeds don't sprout right away. They wait for the right moment, the right soil, the right season. Picture this: you smile at a stranger today, and they smile back immediately. That's karma working in its most visible instant form, quick and almost effortless. But other seeds take years to show their fruit. If you spend your life nurturing patience, choosing forgiveness, and softening your heart again and again, you might not see the result tomorrow or even next month. Instead, one day, perhaps in the middle of a personal crisis, you'll discover a calm strength inside you, a peace that others around you can't seem to find. That's long-term karma quietly ripening. And then there's the most mysterious layer of all. The Buddha taught that some seeds don't even ripen in this lifetime. They lie dormant until another existence, waiting for conditions we cannot yet imagine. This is one of the reasons life feels so unfair, when we only measure it by the short span of a single day, or even the span of a single human life. Think of a farmer planting a mango tree. Would anyone expect fruit the very next morning? Of course not. The seed needs water, sunlight, fertile ground, and above all time. But once those conditions are present, the fruit comes naturally. Karma follows the same law. Every action we take plants a seed, but the harvest appears only when the season is right, often at a moment we could never predict. This is why even good people still encounter hardship. It's not that their kindness was wasted or meaningless. It's that older seeds, perhaps planted long ago, even in lives before this one, are ripening now. While those past seeds bear fruit, their current acts of compassion and generosity are silently being sown for the future. And here's the liberating truth: this doesn't mean we're trapped in some rigid, unavoidable fate. In fact, it means the opposite. We are never powerless. Right here in the present moment, we hold the ability to plant new seeds. Every choice, every thought we cling to, every word we release into the world is another seed falling into the soil of life. Here's a simple exercise. Think back to a choice you made today, whether small or significant. Did you offer kindness to someone, or maybe you clung to resentment instead? Now, imagine that action as a seed. Ask yourself, what kind of fruit will this seed bear in the coming weeks, in the years ahead, maybe even beyond this life? When we begin to see life through this lens, karma stops being a scoreboard of instant reward and punishment. Instead, it becomes a deep living truth of cause and effect. It reminds us that our lives are woven together from countless seeds, some already blooming, some still hidden beneath the soil, and many yet to be planted. And this understanding leads us to a bigger, more difficult question. If karma isn't always instant justice, how do we explain the suffering we see in the world? Why do harmful actions sometimes seem to flourish, while the seeds of goodness remain unseen? This is the great mystery the Buddha invited us to explore. And to answer it, he showed us that karma is not the only force shaping our lives. Our experiences are created by an entire web of conditions. Karma is one important thread, but it's not the whole tapestry. So why do good people still suffer? To find out, let's look deeper into 3 other powerful layers of cause and effect that extend beyond karma itself. The Buddha explained that karma is not the only force at work in our lives. Suffering can arise from many sources, and to understand this, he pointed to 3 powerful layers of cause and effect beyond karma itself. First, the laws of nature. We are beings of flesh and blood, living inside fragile human bodies. No matter how virtuous, how compassionate, or how pure a person may be, the body still ages, weakens, and eventually dies. Even the kindest soul can catch a cold in the winter, and even the most selfish individual still feels the warmth of sunlight on their skin. These are natural laws, not punishments. The Buddha reminded his followers that even he, the enlightened one, was not immune to sickness, pain, or aging. Think of gravity. If you drop a glass, it will shatter whether you're a saint or a criminal. Nature doesn't choose sides. It applies its rules to all equally and without bias. Second, pure chance. Sometimes life simply happens without any hidden meaning behind it. A kind person may find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. A storm devastates a village. A careless driver causes an accident. An economic crash destroys businesses, leaving countless innocent families struggling. These events aren't punishments delivered by karma. They're part of the unpredictable nature of the world. It's like getting caught in the rain without an umbrella. Was the rain sent as some moral lesson, or was it just the weather doing what weather does? We laugh at the thought. Yet when suffering strikes, we often look for a hidden reason, when sometimes there is none. Third, the choices of others. We are not isolated beings. We live in constant connection with other human lives. The actions of those around us ripple outward and affect us deeply. Sometimes the pain we experience doesn't come from our own karma, but from the decisions, greed, or ignorance of others. A hard-working, honest employee may lose their job because of the careless decisions of a company's leaders. A child may suffer from the violence or corruption within a society. The Buddha emphasized this interdependence. Our lives are woven together, and the intentions of others inevitably shape our path. Take a moment to reflect. Can you recall a time when you suffered not because of anything you did wrong, but simply because of life itself? Maybe it was losing a loved one to illness or watching a sudden storm ruin an important day. Notice how quickly the mind wants to assign blame, even when there is no one to blame. This teaches us something vital. Not all suffering is the result of moral karma. Much of it comes from the laws of nature, from random chance, or from the choices of others. And here lies the wisdom. The Buddha warned us not to use karma as a weapon of judgment or a tool to assign blame. Instead, he taught us to treat it as a mirror for reflection. When suffering arises, the deeper question isn't, "What did I do to deserve this?" but rather, "How will I respond now? What seeds can I choose to plant in this very moment?" This perspective is freeing. It releases us from guilt, from blame, from the endless search for why me, and it places the focus where it belongs, on our present power. No matter how unfair life may seem, the choices we make today are the seeds that will shape tomorrow. And to bring these lessons to life, the Buddha often turned to vivid stories. Abstract teachings can stir the mind, but stories reach the heart. Through parables and real-life examples, he showed how karma and suffering weave together in ways far more complex than instant reward or punishment. The tale of Angulimala. There was once a man whose very name struck terror across the land. His name was Angulimala, a feared bandit who wore a gruesome necklace made of human fingers, the trophies of his crimes. Entire villages trembled at the sound of his approach. But one day Angulimala encountered the Buddha, and in that quiet presence, something within him cracked open. The calm radiance of the Buddha disarmed the violence in his heart. Angulimala dropped his weapon, renounced his bloody path, and entered the Sangha as a monk, dedicating the rest of his life to peace. Yet his transformation did not erase his past. When villagers recognized him, their rage boiled over. They hurled stones, leaving him bloodied and broken. In pain, he turned to the Buddha, who told him, "Endure this, Angulimala. The weight of your past deeds could have dragged you into countless lifetimes of torment. Now you face it here and now. Bear it with patience." The lesson: even when we change, the seeds we planted in the past may still bear fruit. Redemption doesn't cancel out karma overnight. It takes time, and sometimes suffering is the proof of old debts ripening. The story of Queen Kema. Then there was Queen Kema, renowned far and wide for her beauty. She took great pride in her appearance and her elegance, believing it was the key to her worth. But when she came before the Buddha, he revealed a vision, a woman even more radiant than herself. As the queen gazed, that vision shifted. It grew old, withered, sickened, and finally died before her very eyes. In that shocking moment, Kema awakened to the truth. Even the finest beauty cannot escape decay. Youth fades, privilege crumbles, and every form eventually falls apart. Gripped by this realization, she renounced her attachments and became one of the Buddha's wisest disciples. Her story teaches us that suffering doesn't only come from punishment, it also comes from clinging to what is temporary. When we hold too tightly to what cannot last, we create our own pain. The parable of the farmer and the seeds. The Buddha also told a simple but powerful story. He said that karma is like farming. A farmer plants countless seeds. Some sprout quickly, others take months, and some may never grow at all, depending on the soil and the weather. In the same way, every action we take plants karmic seeds. Some ripen immediately, some take years, some may not bear fruit until another lifetime altogether. So when good people suffer, it doesn't mean their kindness was wasted. It may simply mean other older seeds are ripening, while their good seeds are still waiting beneath the surface, preparing for their own season to bloom. These stories reveal a profound truth. Life is not a simple equation where good equals reward and bad equals punishment. Angulimala shows us that past deeds still echo, even after transformation. Queen Kama shows that impermanence spares no one, and clinging to beauty or privilege only deepens our suffering. And the farmer reminds us to keep planting goodness even when we can't yet see the harvest. So when we ask, if karma is real, why do good people still suffer? The Buddha's stories remind us suffering isn't proof that goodness has no value. It's proof that life is woven from many conditions, some seen, some unseen, and within that tapestry, kindness is never lost. Every good seed we plant will one day ripen whether we witness it or not. The Buddha wasn't pessimistic when he spoke of suffering, he was being truthful. By looking suffering straight in the eye, we gain access to wisdom that comfort and ease could never teach us. Think of someone you know who has endured incredible hardship, perhaps illness, betrayal, or great loss, yet somehow they radiate warmth and kindness instead of bitterness. Their pain didn't harden them, it softened them. It stripped away illusions and left behind a heart that shines brighter. That is the hidden miracle inside suffering. Suffering can act like fire. Left unchecked, it burns us down, leaving only ashes. But when met with awareness, it becomes a forge, shaping us, refining us, transforming us into something stronger, more compassionate, and more alive. The difference lies not in the suffering itself, but in how we meet it. The Buddha knew this firsthand. Before his enlightenment, he endured years of harsh ascetic practices, starvation, weakness, relentless questioning. Those trials carved away extremes and gave birth to his great discovery, the middle way. Neither indulgence nor denial, but balance, a path that honors both body and spirit. Many of his disciples found the same truth. Their deepest hardships became the very soil in which awakening blossomed. What once felt like punishment revealed itself as preparation. Interestingly, modern science now echoes this ancient wisdom. Psychologists speak of post-traumatic growth, the surprising way some people emerge from crisis with a stronger sense of meaning, richer relationships, and a deeper appreciation for life. Neuroscience shows us that the brain literally rewires itself in the face of adversity. When hardship is met with mindfulness, the nervous system develops resilience. Stress doesn't vanish, but our capacity to bear it expands. Suffering, then, is not only something to survive, it can become our teacher. Let's try a little reflection together. Bring to mind a hardship you've faced recently, maybe rejection, illness, or disappointment. Close your eyes for a moment and picture it clearly. Now, instead of asking why me, ask, what has this taught me? What seed of wisdom or compassion could this pain be planting? Perhaps it taught you patience. Perhaps it gave you empathy for others who walk the same road. Or maybe it reminded you of what truly matters in life. Notice how this shift in perspective changes the weight of the memory. The pain doesn't disappear, but it transforms. It becomes a seed instead of just a scar. The Buddha compared this to using one thorn to remove another. Suffering may pierce us, but when held with awareness, it can also extract the deeper thorn of ignorance. Seen through wisdom, even our pain becomes part of the path. And so when we ask, why do good people suffer? One answer is this: their suffering is never wasted. It often becomes the very ground where compassion and wisdom take root and grow. The Buddha gave us not only philosophy, but also clear, practical ways to live with karma every single day. His guidance remains as powerful today as it was centuries ago. First, keep planting good seeds. Never underestimate even the smallest act of kindness. The Buddha once said, "Do not dismiss good thinking, it is too small to matter. A water jar is filled drop by drop." In the same way, the wise fill themselves with goodness little by little until it overflows. Every gentle word, every moment of patience, every decision to forgive it all matters. Goodness compounds over time, just like drops filling a jar. What feels small today may become the very blessing that saves someone or even yourself tomorrow. Second, never blame the victim. When we see someone struggling, it's easy to shrug and say, well, that must be their karma. But the Buddha cautioned against this. Suffering is not always the fruit of one person's past. Remember, hardship can come from many places: natural laws, sheer chance, or the ripple effects of others' actions. Our role is not to assign blame, but to offer compassion. Judgment closes the heart. Compassion opens it. The right response to suffering, our own or another's, is not to condemn, but to care. Third, use mindfulness to respond. When pain or frustration arises, mindfulness creates space between what happens and how we react. Instead of instantly lashing out in anger, fear, or despair, we pause, we breathe, we recognize. This too is karma ripening. That doesn't mean we accept injustice or refuse to take action. It means we meet the moment with clarity, so that whatever we do next plants better seeds instead of adding more suffering. Try this right now. Think of a frustration you're facing, maybe at work, within your family, or even inside your own thoughts. Close your eyes and whisper to yourself, this too is karma ripening. What seed can I plant now? Perhaps the seed is patience, perhaps courage, perhaps forgiveness. Feel how that question shifts your perspective. The problem doesn't magically disappear, but suddenly you're not powerless. You realize you have agency. You can choose your next step. This is the true heart of living with karma. It isn't about waiting for some cosmic referee to hand out rewards or punishments. It's about recognizing that every single moment is fertile ground. Even when life feels unfair, you and I still hold the power to choose which seeds we sow. Picture two people standing in the same storm. One shakes their fist at the sky, cursing the rain, planting seeds of bitterness. The other opens their arms, letting the rain water their garden. The storm is the same, but the harvest will be very different. So when we ask, if karma is real, why do good people suffer? The practical answer is this: suffering is not evidence that karma has failed. It is evidence that life is complex, woven from countless causes and conditions, and within that complexity we are never helpless. Every moment, every choice, is another opportunity to plant seeds of wisdom, compassion, and peace. And this leads us to the Buddha's most profound teaching, something beyond karma itself. Karma is powerful. Our actions do shape our experiences. Some seeds sprout quickly, others take years. Some unfold in ways we could never predict. But karma is not the final word. As long as we remain bound by craving, by ignorance, and by clinging, karma will keep us cycling endlessly through birth and death, through joy and sorrow, through gain and loss. But the Buddha discovered a freedom beyond that wheel, a release from the endless cycle. He called it Nibbana liberation. The Buddha often explained it with the image of fire. Every desire, every attachment, every grasping thought is like tossing fuel onto a flame. The fire burns hotter, consuming everything in its path. But what happens when the fuel runs out? The fire dies down. It goes out. That is Nibbana, the extinguishing of craving, the end of being enslaved by karma. Every craving, every attachment, every grasping thought is like tossing another stick onto a blazing fire. The more we feed it, the hotter it burns, consuming everything in its path. But here's the secret: when the fuel is gone, the fire fades away. It doesn't explode, it doesn't vanish into nothing, it simply goes quiet. This is Nibbana, not destruction, not annihilation, but liberation, the extinguishing of ignorance and craving. Freedom from the endless tug-of-war between desire and fear. Freedom from the illusion that we are a fixed, permanent self that must endlessly protect and defend itself. When we no longer chase pleasure, no longer run from pain, no longer cling to me and mine, karma loses its grip. it has nothing left to bind us with. It's like cutting the strings of a puppet. The world of conditions is still there, joy and sorrow, birth and death, gain and loss, but they no longer pull us. This doesn't mean we stop caring or stop acting. Quite the opposite. Our actions become clearer, freer, born not from grasping or fear, but from wisdom and compassion. Picture a lotus flower rising out of muddy water. Its roots are sunk deep in the muck, but the blossom lifts above the surface, untouched and pure. That's what liberation looks like. We live in the same world of cause and effect, but we are no longer enslaved by it. And here is the most hopeful truth of all. This freedom is not only for saints or sages. It is available to ordinary people, you and me, whenever we practice mindfulness, compassion, and insight. Each time we see through craving, each time we loosen our grip on clinging, we taste a small sip of that freedom. Karma may explain why suffering arises, but wisdom shows us how to rise above it. The path isn't about polishing our karma until it's perfect. It's about awakening to the deeper truth we are more than the sum of our past actions. So let's return to the question we started with. If karma is real, why do good people suffer? The answer is layered. Yes, karma is real, but it's not instant. Seeds take time to ripen. Yes, suffering is real, but it doesn't always come from karma alone. Natural laws, chance events, and the actions of others all play a role. And yet, the Buddha's stories remind us that suffering, though universal, can become the very soil of awakening. Good people may suffer, but their suffering often blossoms into patience, compassion, resilience, and wisdom. Ultimately, the greatest freedom lies beyond karma altogether, in the liberation of nibbana. When good people suffer, it doesn't mean their goodness was wasted. It means life in all its complexity is unfolding. And often it means that suffering is being transformed into something far greater than pain, a harvest of the heart. So pause here for a moment. Reflect on your own journey. Ask yourself, what seed of growth has my hardship planted? What wisdom, what compassion has been born from my struggles? When you see suffering in this way, it doesn't erase goodness, it deepens it. And if these reflections stirred something inside you, I invite you to continue this journey with me. Join me as we explore more Buddhist wisdom, teachings, stories, and practices that help us live with greater clarity, compassion, and peace. Subscribe to this channel, and together we'll learn not only why suffering happens, but how to transform it into freedom.